So glad to have you with us as part of our virtual celebration of Alumni Reunion Weekend 2021. We're so glad to have Dean Bajeux with us today. Introducing her and moderating our discussion today is one of our special alumni, Remo Jolly. Remo is Managing Director of APAC, Head of iShares at BlackRock. Before joining BlackRock, he was Citi's Regional Head of ETF and Index Sales and Business Development for the Asia Pacific and Japan. Prior roles included senior positions in Citi's Prime Finance Group in Hong Kong and San Francisco, as well as Vice President at Deutsche Bank. He was an inaugural member of the Tepper School Alumni Board, actually one of the leaders of our Wall Street network. He was recipient of the 2016 Tepper Alumni Service Award. He's been an active recruiter throughout the years at CMU. He's passionate about inclusivity and education, and his family have established a number of academic fellowships at the Tepper School. He's also a Golden Eagle, supporting both the U.S. men's and women's Eagles Sevens rugby program. So you can always get into a discussion with Remo on rugby. He came to us with a BS in accounting and management from the University of Pittsburgh, and then received his MBA from the Tepper School, then GSIA. So glad to have you with us, Remo. I'm going to hand it over to you and let you introduce the dean.
Well, perfect. Thanks, John. Just to test, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I'll take that as a thumbs up. Good. Perfect. Well, thanks for that great introduction, John. And I get the opportunity to do the same thing for the dean. So briefly, a quick overview. Isabelle Bajeux is our 10th dean at the Tepper School, a post she assumed last year in October of 2020. Before arriving at the Tepper School, Bajeux helmed the Dassault Faculty Management School at McGill University in Montreal, Quebec, where she led the establishment of the Ben Sadoun School of Retail Management. While there, Bajeux launched several master's programs in finance, analytics, and retailing. She's also established a series of interdisciplinary minors in entrepreneurship and data analytics for multiple degree programs. Bajeux served as the Associate Dean for the undergraduate programs and Chair of the Finance Department at George Washington University's School of Business before she joined McGill. As an alum of École Normale Supérieure in Mathematics with a doctorate in mathematics from the University of Paris Dauphine, Bajeux's areas of expertise include asset pricing, portfolio management, and credit risk. She's also been a speaker on topics such as the future of work and increasing representation of women in finance, and as co-chair of the Global Future Council on Consumption of the World Economic Forum. Her research has been published in Management Science, Mathematical Finance, the Journal of Economic Dynamics and Control, American Economic Review, the Journal for Business, among others. So with that, Dean, I hand it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Remo, for the very kind introduction. I would like to welcome all of you virtually back to the Tepper School. Well, I wish we could be meeting in person in our beautiful building. It is still nice to see all of you joining us online. As Remo pointed out, I recently joined the Tepper School, just actually celebrated my 6-month anniversary here at CMU. I would like to get to know you better and share with you my story about coming to the Tepper School. I have shared this story before, so some of you may have heard it. My journey to Carnegie Mellon University is an American dream that came true. Growing up near Paris, I always intended to live and work in the US because I believed in this country and its unique ability to foster freedom and innovation. For me, mathematics was the path. In Paris, I received my doctorate in math applied to finance, and soon after I made my way to the US to become a finance professor, then the chair of the finance department, before becoming associate dean for undergraduate programs at George Washington University. I then joined the McGill University as the dean of the Desautels Faculty of Management in 2015. Today, I am humbled and honored to be the 10th dean of the Tepper School. I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to apply my experience as a professor with my passion for building a culture that is focused on students, research, and community impact. As you may know, I have now been with the school for 6 months. And what I have quickly come to know is that there is a great deal to be proud of here. In the short time since I have arrived, I can see that we're in the ideal position to be a true leader in business education. And that for 2 reasons. First, our legacy in management science. We invented management science. We invented approaching business problems with data, and now every single business school is doing that. The second reason is our highly interdisciplinary culture. This is the culture that we have at Carnegie Mellon University, where everybody is working with everybody, I mean, across different schools. And this is also something that every single business school in the world is trying to position itself in. In everything from our student groups to our everyday coursework and faculty research, there is this powerful combination of technology, analytics, collaboration, and leadership. I really believe that this will propel our students, our school, and our society forward, regardless of whatever is in store for us next. As your dean, I want to continue to elevate our school, its reputation, and programs. I am already hard at work identifying where we can improve and strengthen our foundations. For example, we're currently undergoing a curriculum review for our MBA program. Moving forward, in all challenges and changes we face, I will look to all of you for input and support to make sure the Tepper School remains at the forefront of business education and a model for success to other institutions. Working together with all our stakeholders at Tepper and CMU, I want to ensure our school's position in the world and continue our mission of educating leaders for business and society. Also, I would like to compliment all of you on your success in your reunion class giving campaigns. The following reunion classes met their goal already: 1971, 1981, 2001, and 2006. And several others are very close. 2021 reunion alumni have contributed and committed over $1 million so far this fiscal year. Congratulations on your success, and most importantly, thank you. Your contribution are what support our goals going forward for the Tepper School. Now, I'll be happy to answer any question you have for me, Wim.
All right, let's get down to some fun conversation. So as you know, I graduated a really, really long time ago in '95 when it was called GSIA. Obviously, it's changed. The location's changed. The name has changed. Can you tell all of us what the composition of the school looks like today? Many, like I said, like myself, many of the people on this call were at this great school when it had a different persona. So it would be great to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, thanks for the question. And indeed, we have grown in so many ways over the decades, especially our undergraduate program. Last year, well, this year, I guess, this freshman class is a class size of 175. And for next year, we're growing to 190 students incoming. That's more than double in the past few years. In addition to our outstanding PhD program and our undergraduate economics program as well, we've launched new master's degree programs, including business analytics, so MSBA. This is an online program, and a very innovative program because I believe we're the only university, maybe in the world, having that kind of program in product management. That is a program that is half from Tepper and half from the School of Computer Science. We also introduced a lot of experiential learning opportunities in all of our programs. We also have now a very robust online MBA program that is currently ranked #1 by US News, so among US schools only, and has been growing in number for us.
Cool. Wow. We've definitely come a long way. On to the next question. So in your opening remarks, you mentioned that you did a curriculum review. Could you describe some of the aspects of that review and what might evolve as it relates to the Tepper curriculum?
Yeah, well, thanks for this question. I've created a faculty committee to look at how we can make the content and length of our MBA core courses more flexible. Actually, our last curriculum review for the MBA program was about 11 years ago. So it was time to look and refresh our program. And the key word for that refreshment is going to be flexibility. We also would like to enhance and increase opportunities for experiential learning for our students. That's something that is very, very close to what I believe is really important in today's education. And we want to make sure that the students have this opportunity to work on live cases in a way with companies. Again, we are in the very early stage of this review, but I strongly believe these changes will lead to improve student experience.
Well, great. Speaking of student experiences, many of us grew up with this crazy thing called management game. I don't know if I've ever seen it exist anywhere else. Does it still exist at Tepper?
Yes, it does. So management game is still offered as a course option, although not all the students are taking it anymore. Instead of that, some students are taking what we call capstone courses now as an alternative to management game. The biggest change is that we've discovered that the board meetings actually work better remotely and make it possible for alumni from all over the world to be involved. When things get back to normal, one of the things that we'll learn from the pandemic, I'm trying, to think about all the positive because there's so much negative. But we're going to continue our board meetings in a virtual fashion. So in that respect, if there are alumni who want to get involved, we can certainly use more volunteer board members for both the MBA and undergraduate programs.
Well, cool. If you're going to have board meetings at 8 o'clock in the morning, you sign me up. It'll be perfect for my time in Hong Kong. You touched upon the P word, pandemic. I think that's definitely impacted all of us in many different ways. You've alluded to some of the learnings, innovation that you're seeing with game and some of the board meetings. How did the school, CMU, respond to the changing environment over the last year, and where are we today?
Yeah, that's a really important question. So as I mentioned before, we do have an online MBA program that was created some years ago that is doing incredibly well. And we actually used all of the learning that we got from that program in particular in terms of delivering education online. In fact, more than 30 classes were already taught online. So in a way, we were kind of lucky because we understood the optimal model for delivery already. So the transformation to online teaching was not completely new for us. When the pandemic struck, we were able, thanks to that, to pivot quickly to a virtual and then hybrid learning model. One of the main reasons for this very fast response was due to our alumni community support and commitment to the success of the school. Your philanthropy provides the capital that allows us to make the right investment at the most critical times. When we transitioned to virtual learning, we were prepared to make the investment in classroom technology that were crucial for providing an uninterrupted education to students. For alumni, we increased our virtual offerings right away to include more faculty webinars, alumni panel discussions, professional development seminars, and alumni career coaching.
Cool. Just sticking with the theme of the pandemic and maybe talking about the current students and the ones that are graduating in a month. How has the pandemic impacted these students' ability to find work?
So our students have been very understanding and remain positive throughout the pandemic. Actually, in terms of student feedback for our courses, we saw that the satisfaction of our students increased in fall 2020 compared to fall 2019, which was kind of a surprise for us. And we're not sure what to make of it, if students are really more happy or have been nicer to their professors. I'm very impressed with their resilience in general. Employment rates have remained high throughout the pandemic. Our undergraduate business graduates continue to be highly attractive to employers, and they receive the second highest starting salaries of any leading business school. It's a very bright spot for us. The market for full-time positions and internships for MBAs has been strong. The class of 2020 job percentages was on par with previous years, and the median starting salary for our class of 2020 MBAs was a record $136K per year. Of note, for the first time in a decade, consulting jobs garnered 1/3 of the class, slightly ahead of technology companies. Financial services roles, which was higher several years ago, was at 13%. Now let's turn to the full-time class, MBA class of 2021. This was the class that has been most impacted by the pandemic. So they fully experience with the impact of COVID-19 on recruiting. Nearly all summer internships for this cohort were virtual, and all recent campus recruiting has also been virtual. However, I would say the virtual environment has provided broader opportunities for our students than before due to the leveraging effect virtual recruiting had on many historically exclusive or core-school company relationships. So it's been good otherwise, overall for our students.
Cool. So you're virtually or physically in the new Tepper Quad. Hopefully you've had some time in the Quad since you joined in October. I think that it was dedicated a couple of years ago, and the fundraising campaign around that was a success. As the new dean, what do you have in store next for the school? What are your priorities, and what have you identified at this point in time? Obviously, that can all change.
Yeah, so thank you, Remo. Indeed, the Tepper Quad is just magnificent. It's an amazing building. Personally, I haven't seen it full of people, which I'm really looking forward to be able to experience the Quad with tons of people everywhere, which I understand is normally the case. It has really provided our community with a modern and increased classroom, study, social, and collaboration spaces. And it's really about what CMU is about in terms of interdisciplinarity. It's not only the Tepper School in the Tepper Quad, but it's also the Schwartz Center for Entrepreneurship. It's also a wonderful food court, a gym. So there's opportunities really to meet students from all over the university there. Let me again say thank you to everyone who supported the Tepper Quad project. While there will be several initiatives outlined later this year, we will focus on 3 areas: student fellowships and scholarships, faculty support, and funds to begin new programs as we revamp our curriculum and expand other initiatives at the school. However, I would really like to highlight a current and important need for increased MBA fellowships. The ability to greatly expand our capability to recruit a competitive student body is really critical at this juncture. And of course, supporting our annual fund is always a priority for us.
Thanks, Dean. Earlier, you mentioned the new wave of master's degrees programs you're offering at Tepper to go alongside with the traditional MBA that many of us graduated with, which has been the flagship program at the school. One, will this trend continue? And then a follow-on to that, what kind of programs do you see being bolted on into the future?
Yes, so thank you for this question. I'm very eager to explore new specialized master's program that go beyond the MBA. That's a trend that we are observing in every single business school, top business school in the world. And I don't think this trend is going away anytime soon. A new master's program that I already mentioned in product management and in data analytics are going very well. As I said before, product management is a joint program with the College of Computer Science. Of course, I should also mention our highly ranked interdisciplinary Masters of Science program in computational finance. That's a program that is in collaboration between 4 different schools at Carnegie Mellon, really the CMU way of offering programs. We're collaborating with the Heinz College, with the Department of Statistics and the Department of Mathematics for this program. It's offered both in Pittsburgh and in New York City. Going forward, I believe that there will be more balance between MBAs and specialized master's degree, which are becoming very important and in ever higher demand. So we really need to think carefully about this balance at Tepper, and I'm currently working with our program leaders to discuss new opportunities and ideas. In particular, in product management, that's a very important idea that we're developing right now and trying to think how we can design different master's programs for different type of students, depending on the number of years of experience that they have. There is much to be done, and I hope I can look to our alumni community for support and input as we make these important changes. I value this group experience and want to hear from each of you on ways we can continue to grow.
Thanks, Dean. I just want to take a few seconds and pause and pivot. Diversity, equity, inclusion. For many of us on this call today, this is something that is front of mind, in front of heart, and center of heart for all of us in our personal and professional lives. I know in one of your earlier communications to the alumni, you discussed this. What are we doing well at the school, and where could we improve?
So we really need to improve on that dimension. And I want to express my high commitment to this topic for the Tepper School. It's clear to me that we need to attract a more diverse body of students and to increase the number of women and people of color at all levels, so faculty, staff, students. We also have to make sure that we have plans in place to build an inclusive environment that supports the needs of a diverse community. There is a gap between where we are and where we want to be, where we aspire to be. That's why we've created a task force that we call Tepper Together to create a strategy to ensure equality in our community. We are committed to cultivating an environment that represents and celebrates all of our members, regardless of race, of gender. This is a very important topic, and that's a topic where we also would need some help from our alumni community.
Thank you. Speaking of alumni community, I think it was last week, would have been reunions for many of us. My class, I straddle two classes, 95 and 96. When we look at reunions here, it's one of it's a perfect example in terms of how we as alum can engage with our colleagues and more importantly, university. How can we as alums on this call contribute to the life and success of the school?
Thanks for that question. That's a really important question. You have heard throughout the events and this particular talk, I truly value the input that you've shared with me. I look forward to hearing even more from you as we get to know each other better. There's so many ways for you to be able to help our school. You can always refer to the alumni section of our website for ways to get involved. Remember to post openings in your companies to provide our students with employment opportunities. Admissions as the Refer a Friend program, where we will waive the MBA application fee if you recommend them for the MBA program. Or you can choose to volunteer. We're always looking for alumni to connect with students virtually via career panels and class sessions, or to serve on management game boards. Our students love to learn from the experiences our alumni share. You can designate your contributions to support areas that you're passionate about. We talked about diversity and inclusion, scholarships, faculty support, research support, etc. Again, I would like to take the time to thank all of you for being leaders for our community in philanthropy.
All right, I think I'm on to my last question, and I'd be remiss if we didn't have to talk about rankings. It comes up in every conversation. So, how are you feeling about the rankings? Is there anything you want to share with this group?
Yes, absolutely. I would say we've done a great job of maintaining our rankings despite the pandemic. Actually, we made a little bit of progress there with the US News rankings. We're now ranked number 16 in the nation. It shows how devoted and we have been to continue our mission to provide students a top-tier education. I mentioned earlier that our online MBA program is ranked number 1 in the nation this year. I believe we have the ability to rise higher. Rankings are an important part of our plans moving forward, and the Tepper School is positioned to continue to elevate. We have a lot of potential, and I want to make sure that we're doing the right things and that our rankings reflect that.
Fantastic. So I think at this point in time, those are all the questions I had. Appreciate your candid, honest, and energetic answers. I'm going to hand the microphone, the virtual microphone, back to Mr. Sengenberger. John, over to you.
Thanks, Remo. I appreciate it. And thank you all for taking the time to join us today. And Dean Bajeux, thank you for sharing all your insights with us. We're excited about where we're going and looking forward to what's going to happen at the school in the days and the years ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I would really like to thank Remo. It's been a pleasure meeting you this morning, evening for you. And thank you for moderating our conversation today. I was really happy to be able to join all of you today. Thank you again for a successful reunion giving campaign. I hope all of you have been able to enjoy the virtual reunion events over the past week and weekend. And I'm really looking forward to the next time we can gather together in person, hopefully in the Tepper Quad, but maybe in your region of the world. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us.